Now next, we move to some of these questions. I compiled them because the last week we talked about eschatology, right? Eschatology. What is eschatology? Anna, what is eschatology? Very good. Study of the end times. Eschatology, okay? Study of the end times. So I gathered some of your questions about that. Now let's turn to Revelation chapter 2. So someone had this question for some time. Revelation chapter 2. Okay. Revelation chapter 2. Now you read properly because I'm going to ask you. Okay, why don't I ask Grace? Alright? Revelation chapter 2. So read, everyone pay attention. If Grace can't answer, then I'll ask you. Chapter 2 now, read verse 2. Revelation chapter 2 verse 2. I know thy works, and thy labor, and thy patience, and how thou canst not bear them which are evil. But thou hast tried them which say they are apostles and are not, and found them liars. Okay, so now you see chapter 2 verse 2 begins with what? Grace, what does it begin with? I know thy works. Okay, now what about verse 9? Look at verse 9. It begins with I know thy works. Then verse 13, I know thy works. Then verse 19, I know thy works. Chapter 3 verse 8, as we know, I know thy works. Okay? Now the person asks, why does God keep repeating I know thy works? And there is another thing that God keeps repeating, alright? Chapter 2 verse 7. Chapter 2 verse 7, he that hath an ear, let him hear, right? Now, so no prizes for guessing. Look at verse 11. He that hath an ear, let him hear. Verse 17, he that hath an ear, let him hear. And so on and so on. So the person asks, why when the Lord is talking to the churches, he keep repeating this? I know thy works, I know thy works, I know thy works. And he that hath an ear, let him hear. Why do you think so? Grace. Oh, no one wants to answer. Okay, so the young ones always have priority. Too late. You put up your hand.
Is it because he's speaking to different churches?
Is it because he's speaking to different churches? No, sometimes to the same church he say the same thing. Why? Oh, Chloe want to answer. Yes. I know thy works. That what? Yes. Is it because he wants people to know that he is God and therefore he knows everything? Yes, Elim. Okay, is it because he wants people to know how important it is? Which part? He that hath an ear part, is it? He that hath an ear. So both answers are correct. When God repeatedly uses anything in the first place, is emphasizing this is important. Pay attention, right? Okay, so number one, when he says, I know thy works, it's like Chloe say, he wants them to know he is God. He knows everything about them. Faith, does your mom always say, I know what you're doing? No? Sometimes. Right? So parents will say, I know what you're doing, I know what you're saying, I know what you did, right? What is parents saying? Why do they say that all the time to you? Say, don't think I don't know what is in your heart. So he said, now you serve me, but I know what is in your heart. Some of them serve, but their heart are not for God. They serve for selfish purpose. Some of the churches just obey God with their lips. God said, I know what is in your heart. Alright, so the person who asked this question, what God is emphasizing to them is, when whatever we do on earth, God knows and God sees. So be sincere in your Christian walk. Pretending no use. Pretend for what? You can pretend that daddy, mommy don't know. You break the glass, and then you blame your brother. My brother did it. God said, I know. Your parents will say, I know. When you say it like that, your eyes is twitching. I know you're lying. I know. God knows. What for pretend? Be sincere. Lead a sincere Christian life. Alright, young people? Don't just do it because daddy, mommy is not saying or seeing. Do it because God is always saying. Okay? Now the next thing. What about he that hath an ear, let him hear? It is to emphasize. When Christ keeps saying that, it's to say, you got ear, you can hear, please pay attention. Like Elim say, this is important. I want you to pay attention. Okay? Alright? So that is what it means. So that is, in Revelation, no. God will say the same thing to us. I know your life. Church may not know. Daddy, mommy may not know. Your boss may not know. Your husband, your wife may not know. Pastor may not know. But God says, I know. So time to live sincerely, honestly before God. Because when you meet God, God says, I knew it. Okay, so time to live rightly. Now, the next one. So God sees everything, God knows everything. No, it's called God sees everything and knows everything. I know thy works. Omni what? Omniscient. God knows all things. Very good. Okay, so when God says, he that hath an ear, God is stirring you to listen. Maybe I should use this word. Every time I preach, the important point I will say, he that hath an ear, let him hear. Listen, unless you don't have a ear. Phoebe, do you have ear? How many ears? 2. Alright, God says, even 1 year, you better listen already. You got 2. Better listen carefully. Right? Okay, so parents, you can use that also. Whenever you tell what did God want you to do? I know thy works, and you have how many years? You better listen to God. They always say, right? God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. Jennifer, why? Why did God give us 2 ears and 1 mouth? I mean, this is what people always joke, but I think it's quite sensible. Why does God give you 2 ears and 1 mouth? Say again. To listen. What? Which should you do more?
To listen more and to talk.
Very good. Precisely said. To listen more and to talk less. God says, listen more, talk less. Okay, are you like that? Listen to daddy and mommy more. Listen to God's word more. Talk less rubbish. Talk less, stop giving excuses, God say. Why God give you 2 eyes and 1 mouth? Observe more, pay attention. Talk less. Stop giving so many excuses. Caleb? Alright? That's why God gave us 2. I think so. That's good. What do we have here? Top 5 reasons why church dropouts. What church dropouts say. Why they stop attending church. Now, please remember 66% of, well, I take the American view. They are the most readily available results. They stop attending church at least a year after turning 18. So from